Good morning. I am Judge Peter Sakai, your county judge of Bexar County. I have broken off my busy schedule this morning to come to do an announcement, a critical fire weather, what we're calling a red flag day. I want to recognize Chief Clarkson of Emergency Service District number 7, Mike Moreland from the Office of Emergency Management, John Ortega, also from the same office. I am your county judge, and it's my primary duty to protect our citizens. So what's important today? It's important to recognize that we must all come together and work together to protect all of us, especially the unincorporated areas. And we must work with our businesses and our employers out there, and we must remind the citizens of the danger of today's critical weather announcement. I want to emphasize that this is a serious public safety concern in our community. The combination of these strong winds as they're blowing right now, low humidity, dry vegetation, creates the perfect condition for wildfires to start and spread quickly. Our top priority is keeping residents and first responders, those that are behind me and those that are in the other emergency service districts, safe and secure as they protect us. The Bexar County Office of Emergency Management, the Fire Marshal, and all emergency service districts, what we call the ESDs, are working with law enforcement and other first responders and state agencies to monitor the situation. We are making sure our resources are in place. County fire crews, we got 2 strike teams called the East and West, are on heightened alert, ready to respond at a moment's notice. The county's Emergency Operations Center has been partially activated and is monitoring the situation. They are ready to assist with coordination efforts at a moment's notice should the situation call for it. Preparedness does not stop with these first responders. These dry and windy conditions mean even one small spark could ignite a devastating fire. So we're asking everyone to do their part to help prevent wildfires. 1, avoid outdoor burning. Avoid activities that create sparks that include welding, grinding, or using equipment on dry grass. Do not discard cigarettes carelessly. Make sure trailer trains are secured so they do not drag and cause sparks along the highway. Stay informed. Respect our local burn ban that we passed in yesterday's Commissioners Court meeting. If you see smoke or fire, report it immediately by calling 911. Together, we can reduce the risk of wildfire and protect our homes, our community, and our first responders. Thank you for doing your part to keep Bexar County safe. Let's come together as a community for the protection of all of us. I will now turn it over to ESD District Chief Clarkson, who will talk about the resources available for emergency response. Chief, come forward.
Thank you, Judge. I'd just like to start out with our appreciation for Judge Sakai and his leadership and focus on public safety of Bexar County citizens. As the judge said, we've set up 2 teams, 2 wildland strike teams here in the county. Today there's 1 team on the east side made up of ESD resources from the east side of the county, and then the same here on the west side. Just like the judge said, today's a red flag warning, so we have high wind, low relative humidity, and dry conditions, which make this a recipe for disaster. So yesterday you might have woken up with a little bit of dew on your car and a little bit of moisture in the air, and you think that that's recovered some of this dry conditions that we have, but that couldn't be farther from the truth. This wind today will dry out anything that might have done yesterday morning, and these conditions are very dangerous and very serious. So it's very important to do no outside burning, to make sure that you pay attention to sparks of any kind, parking on dry grass with a vehicle, all of those types of things. We want to be very careful about that, and just know that the Bexar County emergency service districts are out there today staffing units, because this is a very dangerous situation and we want to be prepared ahead of time for that. So these teams have been activated and brought in addition to normal crews that are on duty every day. So these teams are made up of specially trained firefighters that have been out to wildfires across the state and in some instances across the country. After we get done with this part of the press conference, you're welcome to walk around, look at the apparatus, and talk to these guys that have been out there fighting these fires. That's all that I have. I will turn it over to Deputy Chief Moreland from the EOC.
Good morning, everybody. Michael Moreland, Deputy Chief with the Bexar County Office of Emergency Management and the Bexar County Emergency Operations Center. As stated before, Bexar County is entering a potential of critical wildfire risk today. You're going to hear that theme throughout everybody who's talking up here. We just want to make sure that we emphasize that. Bexar County Office of Emergency Management has been monitoring the weather conditions along with our partners across multiple agencies to ensure that we're ready to assist the first responders as necessary. Our Emergency Operations Center was activated this morning at 10 o'clock this morning at a partial activation, as the judge mentioned. We're in consistent communication with local, regional, and state resources across the state of Texas. And we've spoken with the Texas Division of Emergency Management, who have expressed and ensured the state resources are going to be available if we do need them. Communication with the public is also a key part of our preparedness. We're sharing safety information throughout Bexar County and social media channels to keep residents informed. We also ask residents to monitor their mobile devices for any emergency alert notifications that may issue for an evacuation of their neighborhoods. We ask that they do keep an emergency kit ready if that evacuation notice does come out for those neighborhoods. And together, by staying alert, we can take those precautions and prevent wildfires and protect the public. We also want to mention that if residents do encounter down power lines because of the wind gusts today, make sure that they do report those as soon as possible. I will turn it over now to the Bexar County Fire Marshal's Office, Deputy Chief John Ortega.
Thank you. Deputy Chief John Ortega, Bexar County Fire Marshal's Office. The key takeaway message for the general public here is please do not engage in any type of controlled burning out in the county. All the landowners, all the citizens out in the county, burning is prohibited. Burning, any type of outdoor burning is extremely dangerous. Bexar County is under a burn ban. To echo exactly what the judge said, the burn ban was extended yesterday by the court. So please, no burning out in the county. I can't stress that enough. Our personnel, deputy fire marshals, are working in conjunction with the Bexar County Emergency Service District Fire Departments and the Bexar County Sheriff's Office. We will be out on patrol throughout the county enforcing that burn ban. Of course, voluntary compliance is our number one goal. We don't necessarily want to be out there issuing citations. We want people to be safe. So we stress public education a lot, but we will have both reactive and proactive elements out on patrol. The reactive elements will be responding alongside the Bexar County Emergency Service District strike teams, and our proactive patrol deputy fire marshals will be out looking for any types of violation or any type of hazardous condition that we need to take enforcement action on to correct in order to avert any type of catastrophic wildland fire out in the wildland-urban interface. Secondly, if a fire does result in property damage to somebody else's property, and that fire is determined by our investigators to have been caused by reckless conduct, that is criminally reckless conduct, then that person could be facing charges of reckless arson, which is a felony. So I want to stress that enough. There are significant consequences to violating the burn ban. Just at the outset of it, a violation of the burn ban is a misdemeanor. However, if that fire progresses and burns somebody else's property, potentially under certain statutes in the penal code, you may be responsible for committing a reckless arson at that point. And our personnel will be out there patrolling and investigating those offenses and referring them to the criminal district attorney's office as appropriate. Thank you.
Yeah, certainly the question of fighting the fires in these kind of conditions, obviously with the gusting wind and stuff and changing direction of wind, that really presents a problem for our crews out there. When the wind's blowing 15, 20, 30 miles an hour, that's just pushing that fire that much faster, which makes it hard for us to get to the head of that fire and get it stopped. So containment is very complicated in those instances, and evacuation is something that's very important in those instances. And that's what we've seen in the recent history is on some of our fires, particularly on the south side, down south. We've had some issues with getting evacuation completed, so it's really important for people to stay informed, like Chief Moreland said, watch for those notifications, and also then respond appropriately if you are notified to evacuate, because that's a huge part of what we're trying to do is get people out of the way of harm, and then we can really focus on getting the fire contained.